This is the first semester of the full semester in Nipmuc Regional High School. The challenge, as part of the Epic Education Foundation 2021 Student Challenge, was Pandemic Proof World. And what we are going to do is talk a little bit about the ICE methodology. And if everyone can mute their mics. Okay, so all the students have been following the ICE methodology. They go through this training with the teachers like Mr. James Gorman at Nipmuc, Christine Cuddy at Blackstone Valley High School, and Rich Wachewski at Morristown High School. And they follow this curriculum. And basically, they're immersed in the problem. The problem is developing a solution that will basically enable a pandemic-proof world, so we'll never have another COVID-19 challenge like we did this past year around the world. And they're immersed in this problem, and then they're taught how to work together on teams and how to expand their creative potential as a team, looking outside the box, thinking creatively, coming up with innovative solutions to the problem, and then rapidly analyzing that problem, doing as simple and as quick analysis that they possibly can, maybe do some additional testing, prototyping of their ideas. And what the students are ready to do now and what they have done is basically reported out on their concepts. Okay, throughout the ICE methodology, we basically follow these 7 themes. We want the students to think creatively, think outside the box, think critically. And so they use their mind, not just accept what the computer results tell them. We want our students to be humble, to listen to other members of the team and their viewpoints, and to critically analyze their own ideas, understand how their concepts can fail and the importance of failure so that they can evaluate their ideas objectively. Teach them how to fail intelligently. And we teach them a little bit about systems engineering, how the problem they're working on and that portion of the problem relates to the big picture. Okay, and we teach them how to be creative, how to enhance their natural creativity. All our students are creative, and what we try to do is give them some tools so that they can use to enhance their individual creativity and also how they interact with the team. And along the line, they've been taught some measures of attributes of good designs, some metrics, making designs robust. How do you make these ideas synergistic so that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts? Multifunctional, strive for simplicity. How do we make our concepts reliable, redundant, fail-safe, and operable? And so we try to drive these measures of goodness, how to develop and maybe advance and optimize their ideas. And we've given the students simple examples that demonstrate these different principles. Okay. Okay, so the students are going to be evaluated in these different categories. Problem immersion phase, how well does the team actually understand the problem, the entire problem, including the requirements and also the constraints of how that idea will operate? Did the team work as a highly functioning, high-performing team where they searched for knowledge through all different sources online using subject matter experts, and how they shared that knowledge as a team so that as a team, they grew in their understanding of the problem. The design solutions and concepts we're going to evaluate as to how simple they are, reliable, are they feasible? First thing that they have to satisfy is feasibility. Will these ideas work? Creativity, we can value and judge the creativity of the ideas based on whether it's from an existing solution, whether it's an incremental improvement to an existing solution, or whether it's totally a breakthrough idea that has revolutionary implications and can change society. The research analysis and testing phase, have the students done their research? What have they accessed? How much have they learned? Can they demonstrate what they learned? And have they applied what they learned in the development of the solution? And also rapid concept development. We teach the students how to rapidly evaluate their ideas through analysis and also testing and prototyping. And so online, when the folks go online to analyze the students, to look at the students' presentations, they'll see a simple form like this. And we're asking the folks when they come online, look at as many of the students' presentations that you can, and make comments on them, and give us that feedback. Fill out this form, and what we will do is we will use that information to basically select our winners for this semester. And so now, without any further ado, I'm going to stop sharing my slides, and I'm going to hand it over to Mr. James Gorman, who has been running the team at Nipmuc.
Okay, so let me get this up here. Perfect. Okay, so we've been running at Nipmuc Regional High School for the past 3 years. I did it at another school for another 7 or so years. But we're from Upton, Massachusetts, kind of in the center of Massachusetts towards the Rhode Island border. It's a traditional public high school, about 650 students on average. We have a very successful science department. We actually, even though we only serve 650 students, we have well over 1,000 students enrolled in science classes. So we get quite a few kids to come back for science. It's an awesome environment to teach in, between the teachers that are just phenomenal, the students as well. But we are lacking in the engineering department. But this program has really helped develop that. So when I got there 3 years ago, there was one engineering course. Now we have engineering 1 and 2. And this current year, we had 2 more teachers develop other engineering programs. So it's growing. It's having a great effect. The kids are excited. This year alone in engineering 1, we had over 100 students. That's almost a class worth. Take an elective course in science. So really excited about this. But this year presented a lot of challenges. Because of the schedule, we had to run it in a semester. So these students ran through. We started late in September, 90-minute blocks, but we were full remote. So we had to hand them a lot of stuff, and they did it at home. Then we moved to hybrid, which 2 days the kids were at school. Then the Thursday, Friday, we would see the other set of kids. So teamwork was a huge challenge, getting all of that to work together. And we've popped in and out of hybrid and remote. Halfway through, we did do a poster presentation just to get the kids into thinking about their research more in depth, because we really don't have the time to let the ideas incubate in this shortened semester, because we're trying to teach them all about engineering. So the link's here if you want to see it, tiny URL, Nipmuc Symposium. You want to go see those. This is an example of one poster. It's designed for them to do kind of like a regular scientific research poster, and it was all virtual online. And it all revolved around the pandemic proof epic challenge, like Charlie said. And the reason we did this is because the kids are immersed in this challenge in their everyday life. So we wanted to bring that into the classroom, but in a way that empowers them and not scares them, right? So this was really about empowering the students to find what they really liked, what really resonated with them within the COVID pandemic problem and find a solution for it. Learn more about that. And really, how can we take this forward to answer how can we build a pandemic proof world, right? Go beyond just COVID-19, right? This is a virus. What about bacteria? Getting them to think about these more global issues. Okay. Today's format for this virtual presentation, they mostly produced Google slide presentations. So when you go online, you'll see something like this. It's a Google slide. You can click to the next slide. Once you click on it, down here in the lower right-hand corner, this is where a student is has videotaped, and it should play automatically. When you go to the next slide, it will pop up and start playing, and they'll talk you through what they put on that slide. And so that's the general format of the presentations. There are 5 total categories. So we took these presentations from the 26 or so teams and broke them up into different categories. One of my classes, Engineering 2, decided to do an app. Actually, they called it Slow the Spread app for Massachusetts. They were designing it for the state. So each team worked on a different aspect. We kind of collaborated all together on it. So that's kind of what's under here. But I know Jen Field is on the call, and her class, traditionally it was just me teaching the class, but we've expanded so much this year. I had to have Jen Field and Bonnie Nieves come on and help teach the class, their own classes, their own versions of this. So Jen, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, but there's, it's New England and it's winter, so the plow's going in the background.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. So my students were really all over the place with this challenge, which was great. They really had many different interests. I did have one team look at an app, but many of my students were really interested in masks because, of course, they're required to wear masks in the school, and they're uncomfortable, they slip, they chafe, whatever. So I think that many of them just decided that they wanted to improve on that, make it more comfortable, make it more effective. And then also some of them really wanted to look at the infrastructure side of things. If we had another pandemic and had to do social distancing or spreading out, could we have some kind of infrastructure that we could roll out very quickly? Foldable, collapsible classrooms was one of them, but also measures that they could build within hallways or pathways that would mandate or actually force people to walk separately and not allow them to walk together. So this whole infrastructure idea about, making it so that people would have to be distanced.
Excellent, thank you. And looks like Bonnie's on the line. Bonnie, you there?
Yes, I am here.
Excellent. Would you like to preview some of your student presentations, their work?
Sure. So my students were tended to focus on the community building aspect of the importance of slowing the spread. And I think that stemmed from their biologically inspired design and how interested they were in ant colonies, actually. So they were fascinated by that. So you'll see several of my students' projects are focused on trying to help people see the benefit of working together, or apps that keep people informed of what other people are doing. Toward the end, actually, a continuation of the project. The kids are so enthusiastic, they continued working after it was submitted and worked on a project that would notify you if someone with COVID was anywhere in your vicinity. So that's something that I found really interesting, actually, that they were so interested in empathy and caring for one another, the importance of that.
That's excellent. And I think that's emblematic of a lot of how these things go, right? The kids find what they like through exploring all these different methods of being creative and creative concept generation. Like biologically inspired design always comes up with some cool stuff. So thank you very much. And lastly, we ask that you provide feedback. The students would love feedback on their projects. So that is below, you'll see a Google form like this below each presentation. So if you would please take a moment and fill that out, we would be very, very, very thankful. And that's what I got, Charlie.
Well, that was fantastic, Jim. You're a great MC, a great host, and thank you for welcoming Jennifer and Bonnie as our new group of teachers that are joining the Epic Education Epic Challenge program, and we look forward to previewing the students' presentations. We want everyone to join. Also, add some constructive criticism and some comments, if you will, and join us in 2 weeks. We will announce the time and day that we're going to have the winners of the program basically present, and you'll be able to ask them questions and watch them live. And we also want to say that this is kind of a precursor to our main event, which we will have. It looks like the week of May 16th to the 23rd in at the Kennedy Space Center Visitors Complex, the Center for Space Education there. We will be having a educational forum, symposium and workshop for our teachers in the local area to attend, or from around the country if they're able to attend. We're going to do some training on the Epic Education Foundation, the Epic Challenge program, the ICED methodology, and we will also showcase some of our partners that are developing tools for our students to use. And so I'll lay that out there. I want to thank our teachers and our students especially for the hard work, and we're looking forward to reviewing their presentations.